Actor Steve Guttenberg is calling for people in Los Angeles to help one another as crews battle what he calls the worst fire he's ever seen. Everyone is saying that. Guttenberg, who lives near Pacific Palisades, helped evacuate residents and move cars to clear a path for the firefighters. We're happy to say that Steve Guttenberg is taking a few seconds to join us this morning. Steve, it's really good to see you. When I first saw you pop up on the screen a couple days ago, I said, God, that kind of looks like him. And then they showed your name, and I was like, wow, he's out there himself. I'm wondering how and when you decided to do this, and what's the situation like for you this morning?
Hi, Gail. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
9 o'clock in the morning yesterday, it was an idyllic day. At 9:45, the sky was black. I got in my car, started going toward my house. Sunset Boulevard was a parking lot. Palisades Drive was 2 miles of parking lot. I couldn't get up there. And the fire started getting so heated up so quickly that people started abandoning their cars. So that's when I said, well, I got to start moving these cars. So I got in all these cars and I started moving them. But there were some people, I just want to make an announcement. If there is a crisis and you do abandon your car, leave your keys in your car so guys like me can move them. And started moving them to, yeah, isn't that true, Gail? I mean,
Yes.
people think it's a mall and they're going to lock their Mercedes up so nobody loots it. And then a fire truck can't get through, an emergency vehicle can't get through. So it started doing that, and before you knew it, people were evacuating and coming down in wheelchairs, and poor mothers were having anxiety attacks and panic attacks. They couldn't find their kids. There were little girls and boys screaming and crying. It was tough. People who didn't speak English didn't know what to do. So, you know,
Steve,
myself and a bunch of other people.
Such good advice about the keys in the car. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
What is the situation like for you now? We keep hoping. I wake up in the morning, keep hoping. Is there any bit of good news that you can share with us this morning? What are you seeing? What are you hearing?
It's really still really rough. The fires are blazing, and I think that the winds are died down a little bit. I don't see much winds, but it's bad. It's really bad. And I haven't been up to my house. I'm trying to get up there. And it's tough. This is the worst fire I've ever seen. And it's really going to be hard. And I think right now we have to think about this fire right now. We have to think about after it, that the depression that'll come along. My friend Jill Siegels reminded me of that this morning, that there's going to be depression and really hard mental states. And we have to try to think about comforting people then. And what do we have to do? And then rebuilding. It'll take 10 years to rebuild this town.
Such an excellent point that you're making there, Steve. It's Vlad. Let me ask you about something that you've remarked, which is how quickly this fire escalated. What kind of alerts did you and other local residents receive from officials? And do you think that those alerts and the timing of those alerts was enough for people to take this as serious as they needed to?
I think that the alerts came when they could, because I don't think anybody saw these fires coming. And they saw the winds coming. We knew that the winds were going to come. And these are the hardest winds I've ever seen. I've been in South Africa. They remind me of these devil winds. I mean, they scream and they grab these little bunches of fire and they band them out into a mountainside of fire. The wind is just terrible. It's a hot wind, and it's really, really tough to deal with it. But I do think that they gave out the warnings when they could. They didn't know that these fires were going to escalate as they did. And I don't think anybody knew.
Steve, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you displaying your strength and your courage helping these folks. And I'll just say this before we go, take care of yourself. I know you're also dealing with a lot.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, really smart. And I appreciate you telling me that. I woke up this morning thinking, wow, I got to really watch myself.
Yeah.
I started getting a little upset. So thanks a lot for telling me that.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Local news coming up next.